Good evening and welcome to the ESL Pro League. You are watching the NA stream. I'm Danny Kim and I'm joined by my good friend and irreplaceable commentator,
Irreplaceable.
Elfish guy.
I don't know about that. I've been pretty replaceable this season. I think this is the third time I've actually been on this broadcast, so maybe that's not correct, but it's good to be back. Hopefully we're going to have a good show today.
Yeah, indeed. We have a couple of interesting games lined up, but before we go ahead, I'd just like to make sure, you are coming back into it. Great to have you back. How are you feeling about coming into Pro League and the day ahead, really?
Look, if I'm honest, Danny, I don't know if the time zone necessarily suits me too well. It's pretty early in the morning, and I mean, I'm not great at mornings, but look, we're here, and so we've managed to make it, and we're alive, and I'm just hoping that we get to see some good matches today. Now, the matches that we do have, I feel are probably going to be relatively one-sided from my meager understanding of NACS, but hopefully, at least, we're going to get to see something a little bit exciting. I mean, some of these matches are relatively important in the grand scheme of things when you look at the standings, so that's good.
Of course they're important. Always remember that the world is watching.
I am watching. I'm the world. I'm your world, Danny. You're my world too.
And when you watch these streams, everything is a lot smoother on an Intel processor, isn't it, Elfish guy?
I actually have an i7.
I'm not happy about that.
You're not happy about that?
Regardless.
I have an i7, Danny.
Yes, it is.
It's actually an old one, though.
I do. I have a bit of an older one, but it's still, it's a lot better than some other ones that are out there. But there you go. The world is watching by Intel. Go out there, check them out if you haven't got one. If you haven't actually got one, I'm actually curious as to what you're playing on.
Yeah. I guess an i5, probably.
A SNES?
If you're playing on anything lower than an i5, you're probably doing it wrong.
Yeah. But then it makes a good excuse, right? I think if you don't have anything higher than i5, you can just go, hey, I don't have a good processor. So, the matches today. Who we got playing today?
Yeah. Okay.
Good plug.
Who have we got playing today? That's
we have, first up, we do have SK coming up against Ghost, and some might call this a bit of a mismatch.
Yeah, look, I mean, yeah, definitely. You would call it a mismatch when you look at it on paper. When you see the name SK and you see the name Ghost, you're like, okay, well, this should be straight up a 2-0. But it's not like these two teams haven't played each other before, and it's not like Ghost Gaming hasn't beaten SK before. They have, in fact, twice. So, I mean, coming into this one, I would probably assume that it should be a 2-0 for SK, and everyone probably should assume that as well. But that doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to be the case. And
yeah, I mean, if you look
maybe they can surprise us.
Absolutely. If you look at the numbers presented before us, we'll have a quick look at the standings here. You can see why people might think that it may be that inevitable 2-0 there. We do see SK up top 14-5, so a great record for them. And unfortunately for Ghost, they've done the hard grind. They've made themselves to the top league here, but they're going 1-16. Yeah. So we speak of how this core roster of this Ghost Gaming lineup have taken it to SK once or twice, but at this stage, this competition, the way the maps play out, do they really have a chance at all?
I think you always kind of have a chance to an extent in a best-of-2 format. It's not like it's a best-of-3, I mean, if it goes 1-1, you kind of come out of that one as Ghost Gaming thinking, well, actually, we kind of had a pretty good day today up against SK. But obviously, if there's that third map in the pool, then SK probably wins on that one, and it's like, okay, we still end up losing. But yeah, in this kind of a format, I still think that even though Ghost Gaming are probably, far and away the underdogs here, I mean, SK are definitely the favorites, you still have to kind of consider that these kind of upsets do happen, and we've actually seen quite a few upsets throughout the entire season of NA Pro League, and so it's not like it's impossible right now for Ghost Gaming. I mean, last season they even beat SK on a map, and I believe that was actually Inferno, which is one of the maps that we're going to be seeing today as well. So, I mean, I'm very skeptical, I would say, that Ghost is going to be able to come away with a victory today. And I think you'd be silly to say otherwise if you just look at, you literally just look at those standings and be like, yeah, okay, I kind of know what's going to happen in this matchup. But what I'm just trying to get at is that it's not set in stone at this point. It's not over before it starts.
Yeah, I definitely would agree with that. But just looking at these round differences, and obviously you can put, you put a lot of weight on them or none at all. And as Vin Diesel would say, it doesn't matter whether you win by an inch or a mile. Winning is winning. But you see 72 rounds there, and I think it was negative 104 for Ghost. So they are dropping rounds, and they're getting beaten quite convincingly at that. Coming into this matchup, there is a chance. But we look at the first map pick. I mean, the way the map vetoes work, it's a bit interesting, but the first one is Inferno, and technically that will be the pick of Ghost Gaming. Their record is not that good on it.
No, they've struggled on that map a little bit, and I say a little bit, quite a bit actually. They haven't won on it this season, but it has been their most played map this season. So, and it's also their map pick. So I guess maybe they have some sort of a degree of comfort on the map. Now, when you consider just Pro League, it's not a great story for them on the map. And when you consider everything else as well, it's still probably not much of a better story. Admittedly, they have been able to get some wins on Inferno in the last few months that weren't in Pro League. But even then, it's very lackluster in terms of like their win-loss ratio. And so, I mean, coming into this one, yeah, maybe it is in theory their best map or the best map that they could get themselves on in this matchup against SK. But we know that SK are not terrible on Inferno. Like, they don't play it a lot. It's not one of their most, I suppose it is a map that I suppose they play a lot, but it's not a map that they play a lot in Pro League. It's not a map that they have huge success on. We're not looking at like Overpass, Cobblestone, Mirage, Train. These are better maps, I think, for SK than Inferno is. And Inferno kind of just seems to be one that's in there that they'll play if they have to, but it's not one of their best maps.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, SK, one of the staples of the ESL Pro League here, but Ghost grinding their way through, making it through the Mountain Dew League, which is it incentivizes these guys to come up and face the best, and they are staring straight down that barrel of relegation once again, so they might be back quite shortly, but, every opportunity to come back, do that full circle thing, just like Splice did, make their way around, maybe get a lot of learnings from taking on these kind of top-tier Pro League teams, go back to the Mountain Dew, just absolutely wreck house, and maybe come back a little bit stronger, which we did too with Splice. But you're mentioning SK and Inferno. They did lose to Splice, which is one of those teams that have done the full circle. They came, they went, and they're back again, and, they took a map off SK. So, I mean, is that kind of like the opening to SK? They get really impatient on that map.
Yeah, I guess it is an opening to an extent. I mean, to be fair, like for SK, even last season, and I think even in Season 4, did they play in NA? I don't remember. But regardless, definitely last season, they were always susceptible, not necessarily on Inferno, I'm talking about just in general, to dropping maps to teams where you thought, should they really be losing to this team? Like, remember, 16-0 against, or 0-16 against Renegades. No one would have really predicted that. And admittedly, at that time, SK was playing with a stand-in. But even still, I don't think you should be going down 16-0. And across the board, like, they have lost matches and maps to teams which we would have expected them to beat fairly handily. They've never really been able to come out of the NA Pro League as the best team in terms of the standings. All right, now it's Optic. Last season, it was Cloud9 that was sitting up there with the almost perfect record. And SK seems to have always been playing second fiddle, despite the fact that many would probably consider them the best team in NA. So it's always very, very difficult to kind of predict a team like SK when they have that kind of inconsistency. And, they have that inconsistency in Pro League, but then when they go to a big event, they end up being the best team there and just wiping the floor with everyone. So it's very, very hard to say, Danny. But, like, yeah, there's always that chance. There's always that slim chance. No matter how small it is, that maybe Ghost Gaming can sneak away with something here. Maybe they can, I don't know, walk through the wall as a ghost would and scare SK a little bit. Boo. And be like,
boo. That's enough to take down names like Coldzera and Fallen and Fur. And
I don't know.
Yeah, maybe we'll
maybe
see
they're
that.
Superstitious.
But so that first matchup will be SK coming up against Ghost on Inferno. Then the next map we'll head on to Cobble. Cobble, I guess we have the same set to me. That should be essentially an all she wrote, depending on what kind of SK shot. But even if they don't, you can't really see them faltering onto that map.
No, I don't think so. I mean, Cobblestone should definitely be SK's map, right? So there is that chance maybe that Inferno is going to go the way of Ghost. A very, very slim one, obviously. But yeah, if that goes poorly for SK, they should just move on to Cobblestone and secure a 1-1, which admittedly at this point in the season is probably enough for SK right now. Like, you saw how high they were up on the standings. They're only, I think, one map win behind Optic, behind first place. And so, realistically, assuming they get one map win here today, and even if they go to do a 0-2, then even that doesn't really matter too much for SK. Like, they're pretty much assured a position in the playoffs and a position in the finals. So, I mean, this one for SK is probably going to be more of a walk in the park. They're not going to probably put it in too much into this match, but we'll see. I mean, they should still clean it up 2-0 and just get those extra points on the board. Maybe they are gunning for that first place, so maybe they do come into it with a pretty crazy, super intense mindset.
Yeah, I mean, they're definitely kind of in that safe zone here. But moving into the second matchup, we have Rogue coming up against NRG. And obviously not as one-sided. We're literally playing top and bottom of the table with that first matchup between SK and Ghost. But, it is a little bit closer, and there is a lot of experience on this Rogue team. But NRG is in some strong form here at the Pro League, aren't they? Yeah,
definitely. And I think, well, I mean, to be fair, both teams are coming into that one with a pretty important match ahead of them, I suppose, where obviously Rogue is sitting towards the bottom. They don't want to be sitting towards the bottom for much longer because there's only, I think, this week and the next week of Pro League left, or this week and maybe a couple of weeks after this, for these teams to get themselves off that bottom of the standing. So for teams like Rogue and for Ghost, these two matches today are actually incredibly important in avoiding that relegation system. So pretty big match for Rogue. NRG as well, they're sort of sitting in the middle of the pack, and we don't know if they're going to end up in the playoffs or if they're going to just miss out or where they're going to sit. So again, I think a 2-0 there for NRG is definitely something that they're going to be gunning for just to make that life a little bit easier.
Yeah, I mean, I'm like a bit of a neoclassicist when it comes to that kind of short-term time span that CSGO has had. Hiko, the name always comes up. I mean, if I had to vote for someone for the PaySafe fan vote, it would be him out of that matchup. Hiko is kind of the way to go, you know. He has those insane reactions and the super slick knowledge of the game. I've seen some of his streams, but out of today's lineups, out of the 4 teams, who would be your fan vote, Elfish guy?
Out of all these 4 teams, I mean, I think obviously the easy choice is to go for one of the SK players.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm not going to go for the easy. I'm not going easy. I like to go hard or go home, Danny. So I'm going to go with Wardell. I mean, yeah, actually,
nice.
like,
absolutely.
Like I haven't cast much Pro League this season at all, to be fair. But this season, I have cast a Ghost Gaming game, and that was the one against CLG where they took it to triple OT. And admittedly, it was a very, very messy game, but Wardell really stepped up in that match. I thought it was pretty exciting to watch, so Wardell's got my vote, at least for today.
Yeah. There you have it, mate. The hipster indie side, not that famous underground.
I just got a new haircut as well, Danny, so that's my part of why.
And yeah, when Wardell starts, hitting shots and playing for one of the top teams in NA, he'd be like, you know what? You know who I backed? You know who I voted for on the PaySafe card fan vote when he was like, kind of coming up?
Yeah.
Wardell.
You reckon he's going to watch this and be like, I remember that guy. He voted for me in the PaySafe. Like 3 years down the track, I'll be a nobody and he's going to be famous on the top.
It's all because of you, Elfish. You believed in me that one day. He's gonna carry his team to a 2-0 against SK, and then that's going to be all she wrote.
Hey, today could be that day.
Yeah.
For all we know. Like,
you
mock, but stranger things have happened.
Yeah, that's the thing, Counter, right? Sometimes you just see these teams and like, oh, that's a one-off, that's a one-off. Okay, they've done this a couple of times now. Next minute, SK Gaming. Lulled silence there.
I mean, I think that it's possible. Maybe I'm probably hyping this up a little bit too much for Ghost Gaming. I think we should draw this back before I start getting hate from Reddit being like, Elfish guy thinks Ghost Gaming's going to beat SK. That's not what I'm saying.
Just call it, mate. Back your boys. There was
possible.
The lineups for Ghost Gaming got Connor 93, Seb, Rix, Wardell, and Dallas. And SK, I don't really need to say it, I think. I mean, Fallen Fur, Coldzera, Tucker, Phelps, everyone knows it. They're one of the best.
The best.
And,
not anymore, apparently. I think their rankings just got updated like a couple of days ago, and now FaZe is #1, which is pretty good.
Oh, that's pretty,
yeah. SK went down to #3, and Australis is #2.
Yeah, I mean, it's good to see that we've seen so many kind of superstar mixed lineups kind of fall flop, but that FaZe is doing really well. But here, SK, I like to think of these guys as like the purest team. They work well as a team. They also have that individual star power, whereas, you feel like FaZe sometimes just bank on that individual ability, the aim, the star power, and teams like Australis really focus on the strats, the executes, the team play. I think SK have a nice hybrid of both.
Yeah.
That's why I think they're a really pure, nice team. Back to our beautiful faces there. Just a little bit of a tease with the lineups nonetheless. But I got so distracted before when you mentioned that Renegades SK 16-0, and I believe that was on Dust 2.
Was it Dust? No, it wasn't Nuke. I thought it was Nuke.
Oh.
Or was there 2?
There wasn't 216.
Yeah, but no, but SK has 16-0 Renegades, and Renegades has 16-0 SK.
I'm talking about the one where the Renegades
I'm pretty sure that was on Nuke.
Oh. Anyway, much to my segue
or they
about
played
Dust 2.
Nuke that day. Might have been Dust 2.
What side of the fence are you on? I'm just curious about the whole Dust 2 thing. Are you a Dust 2
purist?
Or are you a,
so what,
a
you're
Dust
asking
2,
me if
Dust
I like
2 scrub map, hate playing it, terrible?
You're asking me if I like the fact that it hasn't really changed despite the visual overhaul, or that I want it to
the
change?
Fact that it's coming back.
Or that it's coming back?
Dust 2's coming back, guys.
Look, honestly, Danny...
Oh, is it? Maybe. No, it definitely will
It probably is. I mean, to me...
Oh, two-pronged question.
Well, okay.
How do you feel about Dust 2 coming back?
Yeah.
What map do you want to see out?
Oh, see, that's the big one, isn't it?
That is.
Okay, how do I feel about Dust 2 coming back? I'm happy in a way because we get.
And
to
you're never happy, so that's a big deal.
We get to see a new map, again. It's always nice to have a bit of a rotation in there, so it's something different to talk about, something different to watch, and something different to cast. What I dislike is the fact that when Dust 2 was in the pool, it was for a lot of the time pretty much all we saw.
Yeah.
So I felt like we saw too much Dust 2, and I did get bored of it very, very quickly. And I'm hoping that's not going to be the case again here, but I feel like, if Dust 2's in the pool, everyone knows how to play Dust. It's going to be left through, and eventually it's just by law of numbers, we're going to see it a lot more and a lot more and a lot more, and end up, it's going to dilute the map pool. Not dilute, but it's going to obviously just wreck everything else. I mean, it just seems like no one else is going to take the time to learn other maps and that kind of thing,
especially
when they can just have that fallback of Dust 2.
Especially in the region that we cast in, OSA.
Exactly.
The map pool isn't it's actually nowhere near as deep as these kind of NA international guys, and we do see a lot of the old Cachet and Dust 2. Having said that, Dust 2 inevitably will come in. You know, it's that staple. There's no way it's not coming back in. What do you want to see go and why? Like,
Yeah, what team? What map story do I want to see disappearing? I think there's a couple of candidates. Obviously, for me, maybe I'm a little bit biased in that I would probably like to see Nuke out,
Yeah,
given the
I
fact
think
that it's a very hard map to spectate and a very hard map to watch and cast. So hard to tell what's going on that map, just purely by design, where you've got that top bomb site and the bottom bomb site, and they're sitting on top of each other on the map. So you've got no idea what's really going on half the time and where certain players are and that kind of thing. So maybe that's just for me purely from like my personal side of things. As far as the game goes, I mean, obviously Nuke I think is a fairly interesting map to watch at the moment, given that it's had that rework, not a massive rework, but it seems like we're seeing a lot of new things coming out. I mean, the upper site bomb executes out through the windows on the roof. I mean, that's not something that really was a big thing in the old Nuke. It was to an extent, but not as big, I don't think, as the current Nuke. And obviously, with the rafters being changed, that kind of changes the dynamic of the A side. I mean, I like seeing the change to that map where the T side has a little bit more of a chance than what they used to. So, as far as watching the map, as far as like a fan, I suppose I don't mind it. I think the most or the least interesting map to watch is at the moment probably Cobblestone.
Yeah.
I used to be a big fan of Cobblestone. Like when it first came back into the pool, I really, really enjoyed watching Cobblestone. But I mean, it's been there for quite a while now. I think everything's kind of been done to death. It did get changed a little bit with that platform, the stairs coming in there and made the CT side a little bit better on the B-bomb side. So that changed things up a bit. But I guess if I had to remove one or two of those maps, it would be Nuke or Cobblestone for me.
I would definitely agree with those sentiments, but we'll get back to that after this one as we are into the pistol round between SK and Ghost Gaming here. Pretty standard setup all around. No utilities actually expended for the guys over on SK, but quite a bit here for Ghost Gaming. We see multiple flashes and the smoke onto Dallas there, so I was going to have something planned. Still not committed too much yet. Just towards the top of mid there, where we do see the heaviest stack of the SK guys. So pretty standard stuff as yet, but it looks like they will be going towards that Archer's position. And now it'll come down to Phelps to try to lock something down. He's retreated back to library, trying to use the distance of that USP, but he's getting absolutely swamped around. It looks like it's going to be a little bit of a wrap around through CT here. So this might actually work out. Nice little split. It's going to come down to Fallen here, holding sandbags. Need to find this opening frag onto Rix. The shots will rain out. Drops the bomb as well, so he's going to stop everything. And Taco with that aggressive push up. Nana just shutting it down completely. So now the flank is actually turning into a walk into a meat mixer. It's getting shut down now just down to Seb. 4-on-1. The bomb is down. Finds one with the Glock, but at this stage it was a good idea. But SK, just a bit too much experience and skill there, shutting it down straight away.
Yeah, look, I mean, that's, I think, how a lot of this match is going to go. SK, you know, maybe Ghost comes into it with an idea of what they want to do, and then SK just reads it on the fly and adapts to it so quickly, and maybe Ghost Gaming does get left a little bit in the dust. We are going to need to see some of those individuals stepping up for Ghost if they are going to have a good chance in this one, particularly Wardell. Like I said the other day, or a couple of weeks ago even, against CLG, he looked really, really good with the AWP. Now, admittedly, Ghost still did end up losing that match in triple overtime, but it was a pretty messy match from both teams. So overall, I mean, it is what it is. But yeah, for Ghost, if they want to have a chance here, it's really going to have to be some strong individual performances from them, and I think they have to get off to a pretty good start as well, which obviously hasn't happened here, dropping that first pistol round. And yeah, while they have that very slim chance, it's realistically a 2-0 here for SK Gaming until we see anything otherwise, if that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. It's interesting how it works there. As you see a pretty standard shutdown. Rick still has a bomb, sees that in hand. He's got full armor actually, so it might be.
Yeah, they bought into pistols actually.
Yeah,
which is fair enough because they didn't get the bomb down. You know, they wouldn't have been able to buy next round anyway, so no AK is going to come out. Might as well just take that double eco and the sort of the force buy and then the eco. Give yourself at least a chance in that second round. Maybe if you don't get any kills, if you don't die, or a few of your players are still left alive, the round ends, you get to keep those pistols and armor through, which is unlikely a little bit on the T side, maybe a little bit more likely on the CT side. But obviously you can see the sense there for Ghost Gaming. I don't mind it, and I think that obviously, despite the fact that it didn't really work, it's really not going to impact them all that much. As Phelps now, he knows that it's going to be pretty much a full eco out here for Ghost Gaming, and just comes charging down mid. Misses quite a few shots there though, and does get punished for it, but again, it is only an SMG loss. This grenade doesn't do too much damage. Overall, that's not really too big of a deal here for SK. They just don't want to lose, I suppose, they don't want to lose that from us. They don't want to lose the M4. They probably don't want to lose the UMP either. But, I mean, if Cold Zero dies at this point, it's really not going to be too big of a deal.
Yeah, so pretty smooth stuff. Maybe a bit too much aggression from Phelps. Thought he had the lineup, followed in his nade, and then went down. Just his crosshair not quite finding the players there. But now it's just down to Rix and Wardell. A couple of P250s. They do still have control of bomb though, but the the map here, how far forward these guys on SK are. It's going to be very difficult for Rix to do anything. Just kind of pegged in a corner. He's going to face Fallen. It should go down, which it does. So that's the 3-0 clean pistol sweep from the guys in SK. Now Ghost, they can buy. They will be buying, but it won't be a too pleasant one.
Tycho's off to a pretty good start here, 6-0, 2 kills around. Can't complain about that one. And obviously SK is going to go for a bit of a bonus round here. So they have taken the FAMAS, the UMP, and they did pick up 2 M4s. So they've got 2 M4s. They've repurchased 1 M4, taken 1 through there as well. Overall, I mean, it's not a perfect buy here for SK, but what they do have is a lot of utility, and that's, as we know, very, very important on a map like Inferno. Ghost, they're going to try and counteract that by going quickly, and they do overwhelm Phelps, who was the UMP player. No, he wasn't. He was an M4 player, which is even worse, actually, for SK. As now Ghost are actually just fully in control of the A-bomb site. I mean, there is a retake still potential here for SK, but we'll see what they do decide to do.
Yeah, big factor here is that kind of second to last utility goes out and the smoke will go down. So now actually Ghost only have that single flash, so this could be a bit of a factor in trying to stave off these CTs. It's 4-on-5 here. And apart from the lacking firepower, you do kind of favor SK in situations like this. Just very methodical, just grinding it out, making sure all players are in position before they go in. And they have a lot of utility left as well, don't they?
Exactly. They've got 2 incendiaries and a smoke, so that's going to be great for clearing out things like exactly where Wardell is sitting in Graveyard, or in the 2 players in the pit, which is pretty much key for SK to get rid of if they want to go for this retake. But from what we can see right now, from what they're doing, it doesn't seem like they're particularly interested in a retake, and I think that they're just going to be taking the save here and maybe going for some exit frags if they can. Best case scenario. coldzera might decide to peek out there late, but it seems as though, everyone from Ghost Gaming is probably going to get out of that one okay. The grenade does go into pit just in case anyone was sitting there, but obviously we know that no one from Ghost is. Seb did go down.
Oh.
Taco drops, trying to find the M4. So the UMP has dropped as well for SK. But like, look at the money that they've got, really. It's not a big deal. Obviously, Phelps is relatively low, and Fallen is relatively low, but coldzera's got 10k, and he's still sitting on that SMG. So at this point, SK Gaming's economy, it's not built up yet, but it's also not been crushed by Ghost. And if they win this round here, again, it's just going to be the start of a big first half for SK, it feels.
Yeah, nice little play there, just holding down library, making sure that M4 does not get retrieved. And because of that, they do take down 1 more UMP as well. So nice little first buy round coming out for the guys on Ghost, but we'll see if they can kind of make it work. Interesting to see that coldzera is actually holding on to that MP9. We'll see where he plays with that. Just kind of holding towards Diggity there, but not too much given away. Then Molly just once again caught out, so nothing happens there. Might actually go down to fire, and coldzera manages to find 1, but will get taken out very shortly. And oh, the double Molly, actually. I stand corrected. Molly doing huge damage onto Wardell and Takana, costing them both their lives. So it's a 2-on-2 situation. Both rifles still up for the guys on SK, but looks like the bomb will be going down. Seb in a nice little spot here, just raining down the smoke, holding down pit as Rix will plant the bomb. So 2-on-2 retake here, and a couple of these Ghost players are a little bit low.
Good situation, though, I suppose, for SK Gaming. Like, it's not good, but it's decent enough, considering they do still have quite a lot of utility there. 3 flashbangs, a smoke, incendiary. You got Fair and Fallen alive, and individually speaking, you pretty much back them every day over a couple of the Ghost Gaming players. So let's see how they go about this one. Already, we can see that utility is coming and working very nicely for SK as Fallen finds the kill onto Rix with the incendiary. They don't know that this player is in pit, but they do suspect so, and now those suspicions are proven correct. Fallen just needs to clutch this one out, and he does get the headshot across. Should have enough time to defuse that bomb, but it was a little bit close, jumping up on that... Yeah, like that could have lost him the round, getting stuck on that little bit of a curb, I suppose. But overall, it wins the round, so not too big of a deal. They lose a lot of guns, but again, remember how many of those guns were actually saved through from basically round number 2. Overall, it's a pretty good situation, really, for SK.
Yeah, and maybe you come with some of that coldzera SMG play coming to fruition there, as he kind of has 13k now, so gets the AWP, manages to probably get a drop in there as well, but it looks like he will be the primary AWPer as of now, as he does save up a little bit of discipline there. coldzera just shutting down Wardell as he peeks up towards mid, so shut down straight away. Connor 93 only on that Tech 9 as well, which is actually interesting to see. Don't see too many Tech 9s nowadays, do you?
No, not really. I think it can still work on the T side. Maybe the CZ... The CZ is a little bit harder to make work, I think, on the T side. Admittedly, you might even want to just take a P250 at times, but obviously the Tech 9 can still work very, very well. It is obviously a little bit more inaccurate now when you're running, but first bullet accuracy is still pretty good, so if you can hit that one-shot headshot, you can definitely make it work. It's just a bit of a different playstyle now, really. But overall, it doesn't really matter because he's lost Wardell, picks up that AK, Now he's got an AK, doesn't need to use the Tech 9 anymore. But this is already not looking too great for Ghost Gaming at this point. Look at the control that SK have over the map. They've pushed a player down Banana. That's Fur. He's got so much information, knows that there's nothing going on towards the B bomb side, and SK, as a result, can stack 4 on A. Fallen goes for an information play, which I feel is maybe a little bit unnecessary at that point, given that they kind of knew that there was no one going over towards B, and Fur gets overwhelmed in a 2v1. This is bad news actually now for SK. The only takeaway maybe is that there's not too much utility for for Ghost Gaming. However, they are going to get one down for CT, and coldzera is just hitting his shots with that orb. This is insane. Almost thought that he was going to hit that one there as well onto Dallas. But he's basically single-handedly saved this round there for SK by getting those peaks. And jumping out of a smoke as well, like how do you manage to do that? And Ghost Gaming just don't trade him out. It's insane.
Yeah, so Riggs needs to get this bomb down for the economy, but Phelps won't have any of that. And yeah, it was really interesting. He did get flashed out towards Archers there, Fallen, but he just kind of a bit of an aggressive peak for a 4-on-5 situation.
Yeah.
He's over the first, and then they just rotate straight onto Fur, who was in a nice little position, but didn't manage to get a single frag. And that was looking scary, but you know, when you have players like coldzera, I guess maybe
like
they
he
don't worry
just comes
too
up
much.
with 2 huge frags. I mean, that's just, yeah, pretty incredible. And so, yeah, I thought it was a little unnecessary from SK to push in, but I think they're pretty confident in this matchup, you know, so they're not necessarily going to be too bothered by losing a player like that, particularly in a 5v4 situation where if they do lose that player, it still then only evens things up. And obviously, they lose Fur in the Banana, but they get the information so early that rotation is coming across from Ghost that they are, in fact, or coldzera is able to rotate across before Ghost really even gets into the side. And it all comes down to the byproduct of SK controlling the map so well there and Fallen. Only able to get one on that spray down. Fur not really landing too many shots here, but there we go. The spray down has been calibrated, and he finds a couple, just 2 more to deal with, as Rix and Seb have overwhelmed the site, but he'll fall out here. Just wait for his teammates to come back in, and it's exactly what he should be doing. Trying to save this gun as best he can. Let coldzera and Taco take the aggressive peaks, and I suppose Phelps just going to watch the angle here. Worst case scenario, there's a 1-for-1 trade for SK. And
yeah,
maybe
so
not. Maybe it could be a 2-for-0.
Yeah, Fur and Phelps were on very low HP. Eventually, coldzera does come in and save the day, but Phelps getting dinked down by that drop M4. Nonetheless, they do manage to save 3 guns. Probably would have been better if they had 4, because the economy is still very fragile at the moment.
It is. But you've got to consider the fact that here for SK, like, they're already up 6 and 2 rounds. 6 and 1 round, sorry. They've got a full buy through here, full utility, full head armor, full defuse kits, all that kind of stuff. You know, they're not wanting for anything right now, so it's still already a pretty good start, right? Even though that anti-eco wasn't amazing, they lost a couple of guns. The gun rounds have been pretty expensive for them. That's not a great start. Wardell just absolutely smashes coldzera, but even though like it kind of feels almost a little bit even right now. Like Ghost is getting some kills, making the rounds look close. It's still 6 and 1.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, SK is getting the numbers on the board that they need, and that's what really matters.
Yeah, definitely. And would you say the case for the Fur and Fallen combination on towards that B bomb site? Fur, he loves to get aggressive down now and get the information. He looks like he's going to push towards T steps now, so they know exactly where he's going to get a little bit of a flank here happening, but the flash and the timing is so unfortunate. Will go down without taking a single soul with him. So now it is just down to Fallen. He does have 2 flashbangs, but he has a lot of work left to do here. Just based on the money from the last round, looks like they will be able to buy. So he could go for something here, but on a 5-on-1. It just depends how much he backs himself. Looks like he might be pushing it. Tries to find the easy frag, and Seb actually manages to destroy him in the turn. Gets tagged down to 1 HP. Very unlucky there for Fallen. But very nice stuff. That opening shot from Wardell, what?
Huge, yeah. And that's like those individual plays that I'm talking about that we're going to need to see from Ghost Gaming. Now, that's 1. It's going to get them around. How many more rounds are they going to be able to get here? Probably another one, given that SK is on the eco, and those economic woes that you were talking about do come pretty quickly to the fore here for SK Gaming. As soon as they lose a round, they're on the eco. If Phelps and Taco had a little bit of cash and probably could have ended up actually buying if they needed to, but they decided to get their money in line with their teammates, just going for the pistol and armor. Now, this is also the first time, really, that we're going to see Wardell with the AWP today. Obviously, in the last round that he picked up off coldzera, but to be able to start the round out with an AWP and see, we'll see whether or not he's going to be able to have a big impact today, because, yeah, he looked okay with the rifle, but the AWP is where we do see a lot of those picks coming from for him, and that's where we saw a lot of success for Ghost Gaming, actually, up against CLG on this map as well. So I think Wardell here with this AWP is going to be pretty crucial, and I want to see him be able to take it through a lot of these rounds, maybe even clear out almost the rest of this half, you know, 4 or 5 rounds in a row with that AWP, just to see if he can really make something work here, because I think he's the key for Ghost Gaming right now.
Yeah, so this could be a little bit dangerous here. Just using the close quarters, unfortunately, Phelps doesn't get too much done with the CZ in hand, and they will take him down. Looks like they have a bit of an opening here towards this A bomb side. It is just down to Coldzera and Taco. Coldzera with the Deagle, both players here with Deagles there. Coldzera, there goes, finds one. Would actually manages to find Taco in cemetery, and there you have it. Does some Deagle work of his own. So some big players coming out from Wardell, make it a 2-on-3 situation there. Fallen just trying something, anything, not finding too much, and it looks like it's going to be very difficult from here on in for SK.
Yeah, at this point for SK, maybe just exit frags is the way to go. If they can cover off both angles, which they are, first covering off, I guess, the library and the arch angle, and Fallen watching towards Boiler, towards mid. The only way that they can really get out of here without being spotted is they jump up into apartments. But even then, like, Fur's going to be able to peek out and take a couple of pings at them and see what he can do. But that's exactly what Ghost are going to try and do. So they do filter in towards Boiler, and yeah, unfortunately for SK, they're not going to be able to get too much done there as Wardell hits a couple of nice Deagle shots. But Ghost, they pick up 3 now on the T side. SK probably needs to go for a double eco here unless they're feeling confident, which apparently they are. They're going to force into it with, it'll just be for Masters and M4s and a lack of utility. But yeah, I kind of feel like a double eco might have been a better idea for SK Gaming at this point. But if you're confident, why not?
Yeah, absolutely. And I feel like Wardell heard you there because, I mean, he picked up the AWP, he found that opening frag towards Graveyard, and then he got a 3K with the Deagles. So maybe he's just proving to you that he doesn't need that AWP. He can do it with any gun.
And the Deagle's basically a mini AWP anyway, so job not yet done, Wardell, if you're listening, mate.
Oh,
Show me some moves.
He has put the challenge out.
Yeah.
I mean, he's sharp today. I mean, AWP or not. That AK, I have to say that again. I'm not exactly sure what even happened, but it's just flying through there and just pops off a player to open up the round. But here we go. 5-5, a couple of FAMASs and the utility lacking over onto SK, and a little bit of a stave here coming out mid first half for Ghost Gaming, looking a lot sharper than we saw in the earlier phases. But it does come down to this Nana, doesn't it? They love to get pretty far forward here. They're getting information, but just people are going down on other parts of the map, so it's not being too fruitful, but we'll see if Fallen can get anything done.
Yeah, it's a pretty interesting setup here for SK in the B bomb site, because obviously you can see First sitting back towards the site itself, and Fallen is kind of just jump spotting for information. Now Fallen decides to push through on his own. Fur's already decided to rotate off, so it's a little bit risky there from SK, and that's exactly what I'm talking about. Fallen can just get overwhelmed. He's only got off a mask, does get the headshot onto his opponent Seb, but unfortunately it's not really going to be enough, and the rotation does come back across there from Phelps, and I think it's Fur, the other one in the site. So pretty good job still done from SK, but I wonder what it would have been like had there been 2 of those SK players in the banana as opposed to just Fallen.
Yeah, they do always like to send one forward to get the information, but they haven't been that useful. They do get the call out. Wardell backing up his teammate there, taking down Coldzera. So now she's down to Taco. Has information, but manages to find that second. So there it is. That all coming into play and getting the round 4 goes 6-4. A little bit of economic trouble here for SK, and more importantly, this 6-1 lead is essentially almost disappeared now.
Yeah, see, that's why I think the double eco probably would have helped SK a little bit in that. Obviously, they would have lost that round anyway, but in the gun round, this round now, they would have had probably full M4s, more utility, might have had an AWP as well. So they could have potentially locked down that banana line with the AWP instead of Fallen pushing in there. They could have had a bit of a better chance of defending that B bomb site. They have maybe a bit of a better chance retaking that bomb site if they would have had a little bit of extra utility to play with as well. You know, imagine they had an incendiary to throw into the position that Wardell was playing in, or into dark or something like that, and just to clear out a few angles before they go rushing in. But SK didn't really have any of that to play with, and so they just run into the bomb site. Wardell's sitting there with his AWP going, okay, you've got no utility, you've got no counter to me. What are you going to do? Just peek and try and take the aim duel? Okay, I'm going to shut you down. You know, he's sharp enough for that. And like you said today, I mean, Wardell seems to be looking pretty good right now. So I don't think that SK can really take this too lightly.
Indeed, as Fur actually managed to find the one Fallen, getting a couple of body tags with the Deagle. So Numbers advantage manages to recover that smoke as well, but at this stage it is still heavily favored to go into the favor of Ghost. Yeah, you gave him the early choice, mate. You gave him your pay safe card fan vote, and it's really driven him.
That's what they're all about, man. That's if they don't get anything else this season, as long as they get my pay safe card fan vote, they'll be happy.
So there you have it. Well wishes for Wardell, and he's doing really well, but still very early days in this game. And as we see, this could get a little bit dangerous here As Ghost Gaming might be getting a little flustered into this round as they do drop Ricks very low to his pistols, and if they don't get if they get a little bit clumsy towards the corners there, as we do see Taco taking down Dallas. Connor manages to trade him out, but Colter might have a free kill here, but unfortunately, a little bit too sharp. Seb manages to do the 180, takes him down towards Porch, and now Phelps, close range. CZ needs to get some damage done, finds one. He's going to get flanked on here, but gets backed up by Fallen. So now it's just down to your man of the hour, Wardell, to find something, but gets taken down straight away, and that AWP is very recoverable.
Yeah, so
7-4.
That's the difference really between these two teams. Like SK is not going to lose a round like that, where they are down a little bit. They have that opportunity to come back in. They've put their opponent's economy down low, and yeah, I mean Ghost Gaming, that was their chance to really build this T half into something pretty nice. You know, they could be at 5 now, maybe looking at 6 or 7 or 8 rounds in this half. Now SK Gaming, double AWP setup. Their economy's reset completely in the correct direction if you're a SK supporter. And Ghost Gaming's own economy is reset. So at this point now, you're thinking, okay, 10-5 kind of half for SK at worst.
Yeah, it's so funny how this game
just look at that.
Yeah,
like they just come into this round and they pretty much demolished Ghost Gaming. Now Wardell's gotten a couple with the CZ, but again, SK, they just shut that out.
Yeah, Wardell picking up a couple of scraps. They're going 12-8, so leading the way for his team, but. Like you said, this half has been turned on its head. They do manage to recover that second AWP as well, which is so important for that economy.
It's double eco as well for Ghost Gaming.
Yeah, I mean, it is a bit of a shame to see that, but I mean, you don't expect too much less from SK. They managed to recalibrate and bring it back.
No, you don't expect less from SK, but you expect more from Ghost Gaming. That's what I'm saying. You know, you would have wanted to. You expect them to clean up that round, let's be honest. You know, they should be every day of the week closing out that round. And against a team like SK, you just can't afford to make those kinds of mistakes. Phelps certainly won't, as he finds 2. Does go down to the player in Boiler, but overall still favourable trades here for SK. And admittedly, they are losing a few guns on these rounds, but it doesn't really matter too much because their economy is pretty set. As long as they can take that double AWP through, I think they're going to be relatively happy with how this round has played out. Just Connor, this time in the 1v3, is looking for something, and he's actually played this one okay. Fakes out that he's going to B. No, actually decides to go to B. Obviously, Fer on the rotate, though. He's going to get there before him. So it's not an easy job here for Connor at 93.
Yeah, but it's a nice movement there, duking a couple of directions, spawning a couple of players, and just rushing through. Actually, Colter probably having no idea that he pushed towards that Archer's position. But now they have a good idea of where he is. Actually, not too sure. So they've committed towards the top Banana Fer, but he's not going to get too much information right now, as we do see those two players still on towards that A bomb site. So Connor should be able to get the bomb plant. And thus far, enough of a win at this stage. We'll see if he can do anything. He might get an early one-on-one depending on how impatient Fer is. But you know what? Fer backs himself, finds
got the 1v1.
Yeah.
Didn't go his way. Yeah, I suppose that's a win for Ghost Gaming, getting the bomb down, particularly given that they're in a 1v3 situation. And I was saying, oh, you know, SK have just completely shut out this anti-eco. Not really the case there. Yeah, it does help Ghost Gaming. It's going to give them a little bit of extra cash to spend up in this round, which is going to be nice. A few more utilities, and they will have a perfect buy, really. I mean, Wardell, does he have the AWP here? Someone dropped for him? No, it's just an AK. Overall, though, let's see, like, if Ghost can actually come back and salvage this first half, or if SK is just going to wipe the floor with them now, because it would be so disappointing to see this, say, go to 11-4 when you consider that Ghost was in a position to turn it into 6, 7, or 8 rounds for themselves.
Yeah. I mean, they've given themselves every opportunity, unfortunately, lose to that anti-eco. Now, they got the 5 AKs up. Wardell, I mean, you'd like to say that he does lose a bit of his edge there when he does have the AWP in hand, but he has been very sharp with the rifles and the pistols, so we'll see if he can open something up for his team here as we see a bit of aggression. Colter attack down to 41. Still managing to stay alive, and he does have the AWP in his hand, so it doesn't make too much of a difference. And a nice spray down onto Wardell, so the man of the hour getting taken down to 12 HP. And that, you know, he's probably wishing he has the AWP now.
Again, that same situation here for SK where they've taken control of Banana very, very deep. Fallen's actually very far forward with an AWP, nonetheless. Wardell's going to go back over there, just maybe take a bit of a peek in, which could end up being his undoing. Does seem to be sitting at the bottom of mid, though, quite safely. For now, Ghost Gaming, though, they do have a pretty difficult task ahead of them as they have to make their way into the A-bomb site against 4 players. Admittedly, they do have a lot of utility, some of which is off the back of putting that bomb down in the last round, but SK still has 5 players alive. There's not that much time left in this round, 40 seconds, but Goldzera starts off nicely. Thought he was going to actually get a collateral there, but not the case. Trade does come out for Wardell, though.
Yeah, but look at this. He's going to get information here. They know exactly how SK like to play. So they commit that heavy play. It's 2-on-3, but they will manage to get to that free B bomb site. And hopefully, depending on how fast Rix can get there, get it down. As we do see that rotate coming out from Cold's area, we'll be trying to find a frag here from the CT area. Might be able to find something. Orb against Orb. Wardell just posted there. Crosshair already locked, loaded.
I'm not
Cold's
sure
don't have
why.
much of a chance.
Like, he was always going to be later than Ghost Gaming on that push, so I don't think that that was particularly necessary. Yeah, maybe you do it when your two teammates have taken control of Banana. At least then they might be able to trade you out or something like that. But now it does put the rest of those two, or I suppose it puts Fer and Taco in a bit of a difficult position where they basically just have to dry peek and AWP here. And Wardell, he finds the first, does get flashed out, and does get traded out by Fer, but that still leaves Fer in a 1v1 where he has to figure out where Rix is. That bomb has been ticking away for quite a long time, and he just has no time to play with. So this round is basically over in the favor of Ghost Gaming. And I really think Cold Zero should have just played a little bit slower there.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we did see it before it panned out. We saw Fer do a very similar thing on towards that B bomb site. Managed to get that 1-on-1, but that time around, 2-on-3 situation, a lot closer. He just kind of peeks out. He knows the AWP has been dropped and gets taken down straight away, giving it away. And once again, Wardell coming up big there, 15 and 10. Got tagged down to 12, but just watch that flank. Knew exactly. That is just homework done for the guys on Ghost. Knew exactly what the play was. Knew that a push might be coming. Fallen goes out, one out, or doesn't get much done, gets taken down. And Wardell, you just see him sprinting straight up Nana. It's just like, hey, boys, we got an opening.
Yeah.
And there you have it.
So they have that opening. I mean, they salvaged it again after dropping that pistol round. They could turn this into a 9-6, which admittedly, it could be better had they not lost that round. But 9-6 is still not too bad of a first half on your T side as Ghost Gaming. But then again, I mean, 10-5. You're probably starting to lean towards SK after that. So I think this is a pretty critical round, all things considered, and Cold Zero does win that 1v1. Seb gets him down to 4 HP, but unfortunately, 4 HP for him is still going to keep him alive. So Ghost Gaming do go play down, and Fer just decides to push out through the smoke of Banana and gets a 1-for-1. Didn't know that there was a player still on T-stairs. A little bit of information still, though, for SK there.
Interesting that Rix let him get out so far and get that frag, though, to be honest.
I don't know if he was around the corner quite enough to see him. I think that was why.
So pretty keen onto that Nana push, and look at this commitment here. They're going to come down to Fallen here. He's got M4 in hand, managed to get the jump peak, so a little bit of information, and knows that the bomb is on its way, and there it has cued the rotation of Phelps, but he only has the MP9 in hand. Rick's pretty far up here onto towards the top of Nana, so it looks like it is a 2-2 split for the guys on SK, and looks like commitment may be happening towards that B bomb site. 32 seconds left to play. And Dallas could be a huge player here if he can make his way around. He does need to scuttle along, though, as the clock is ticking. He needs to take out these two players heading towards that CT area. And once he does that, this is going to be a great play coming up, depending on how much he can get done here. Dallas here managed to get behind one, finds them both. So there you have it. Great work.
It just seemed like Fallen had no idea where, or Phelps had no idea where Dallas was, despite the fact that Fallen had already died to him, which is crazy. Anyway, I don't know. We'll see what these two remaining SK players can do. Taco and Cold Zero don't have too much to work with, and looks like Taco's just going to walk through this smoke, peeking into Wardell. There is a smoke on the site, though, which is going to keep his vision obscured just a little bit. Not a lot of time to work with now, though, for SK, and Wardell missing that shot. Haven't seen him miss too much today.
Yeah, but staying alive key there. Dallas getting taken down by... Dallas actually taking down Taco. So now they know exactly where Wardell is, but the time is just... gone. Cold Zero, 4 health, not much you can do. And there you have it, 9-6 for the half. So we thought there was a chance of going 11-4. They do manage to stave a couple back, so a little bit of life still left.
Yeah, I mean, 9-6, I think that's probably as good as you can hope for, really, for Rogue. It could have been better, but coming into that map, if you would have been told, okay, you're going to get a 9-6 here against SK, you'd be like, yeah, you know what? I could probably take that and not be too disappointed. I mean, after that half, I would say... Ghost probably is a little disappointed to lose that anti-eco at such a critical time. Does make life a little bit more difficult for them. But you know what? It's not a bad half. It's a salvageable half. It's a workable half. And we will have to see what they can do in the second half.
Yeah, will they be able to salvage it? We'll find out after this short break.
yo, listen to this. Bad boy. Funky time.
And welcome back to the ESL Pro League. You are currently watching SK and Ghost. It is halftime, 9-6. You know, there were some opportunities where we thought Ghost was going to bring it back, make it a bit closer, and a time where we thought SK might actually blow out, but it's ended up being fairly even there. We see the Betway odds $1.03 and $9 to Ghost.
Look, I mean, $1.03 is not, you know, you're not getting much back off that.
Yeah, you're
So if I was,
nothing.
I'd be like, you know what, maybe I'll chuck $5 on Ghost here.
Yeah,
it's
that's-
unlikely, to be fair, and I think that's kind of reflected by
I
the
feel
odds,
like
but
$9 for Ghost is a bit of an insult to the way that Wardell's playing right
yeah,
now. Maybe
exactly.
like
That's what I'm
6 or
saying. You know,
something, yeah.
I feel like I give him a little bit more than $9.
Yeah,
So
for sure.
I'd put him like 4, 5 maybe. Anyway, that
Yeah, I mean,
don't listen to me.
they have professional maths people at Betway, I think.
Look,
So
I
maybe they know a bit more than we do. But
I've finished year 12 maths as well, so I'm good.
for those of you watching at home, if you don't know, that's the final year of high school maths, year 12, because you know we're global, mate. You gotta dumb
Yep.
it down sometimes. They don't know our you know the way our education.
How many
system
years
works.
are there in America? Surely there's 12.
Yeah, but they like go for like 2 and then 4, right? They have like middle. What do they
Yeah,
call it?
I get
middle
what you
school
mean.
or whatever it is, and then they have like high school,
Yeah, whatever.
and then they don't use like the years one by one. They go like
oh,
sophomore,
Sophomore,
freshman,
yeah,
junior,
okay, yeah,
senior. So you did senior year maths.
Yes!
Is what you're saying. Yes.
and I
We
did the
got
dumb
it.
maths
Yeah.
as well. I didn't do like the.
Yeah.
I did maths A, not maths C. So maths A is like the lowest.
I did the dumb maths as well.
Nice.
My Asian parents were very disappointed of me, but
I'm
we are
disappointed in you.
in the pistol round.
For
Ghost need
different
to pick
reasons.
this up and to have every chance of kind of shutting it down and bring it to 9-all. And if Wardell can get that AWP in hand and really close out these tees, but it is still SK. And there you have it, Taco taking that Rick straight away to open the account up.
Yeah. So SK here off to a good start in the second pistol. And remember, they did win that first pistol as well. So 9-6, you know, considering SK did win first pistol, is fairly even actually. But if they win the second pistol here and Ghost Gaming, you know, obviously they will go down in that situation. That really puts them at a bad spot. Losing 2 pistols against SK on your own map pick, where you're already down a little bit, I think that's probably going to be a little bit too much to overcome. So I feel like it's pretty important for Ghost Gaming to actually get this second pistol, and it's obviously not started off too well as they try to retake the bomb site 2 versus 4. Wardell has lost his only teammate, and Coldzera takes him down as well. So 10-4 SK, that's 2 pistols. They're pretty good on their anti-ecos in the first half when they were on the CT side. See how they go here on the T side. But assuming they get to 12-6 relatively fine, I think that's probably the map really cleaned up by SK, to be honest.
Yeah. It will be very difficult to try to stave anything off at that stage. You'll see a couple of MAC-10s coming out in the UAP onto Phelps. AKs for the rest of the SK guys. And
AKs for the boys?
yeah, I was trying... AKs for the SK boys, yes. But a little bit of an interesting kind of stack here up towards the top of Archers here. They're going to go straight into the meat mix to see if they can find anything. Seb managed to find one. Dallas will find that second. Taco does trade out. So it's a very messy round here. And there you have it, the stack paying off.
Yeah, exactly. That's not how you make full use of your pistol round win. As Ghost just come charging into SK, give up 4 of their 5 guns, 2 of them being AKs. Now Ghost is definitely back in this one, and so we're kind of even in terms of anti-ecos lost, once for Ghost and once for SK now.
It's so weird, right? Like, as good and as clinical SK can be, some other times there are a few head-scratching situations, aren't there?
Yeah, like they didn't really scout that out at all. They just kind of came running in, and they sent the MAC-10s first, which is obviously what you want to do, but they just got wrecked, and then everyone else got wrecked just from power in numbers, and Ghost did a pretty good job, but... Oh, I mean, this has not started off too well for Ghost, as they do lose one of those AK players. It is retrieved by Rix, but already Wardell's relatively low as well. So, I mean, Do we see SK coming back with another round of themselves here? Doesn't seem as though they will, but what? Like, how's Phelps there and Seb's there? It doesn't make sense.
It's a
And
crate.
Taco just hits that
no.
shot.
If that spam
Insane,
into
man.
smoke from Taco is the turning point of this game, it doesn't manage to find a gun. Wardell just holding this cubby position.
good
has
bomb
been
drop,
doing
at
great.
least.
Yeah. He's been doing great work from this cubby. Phelps knows exactly where he is, and the bomb does get retrieved, so he'll be making his way towards that bomb site. But he has only got UMP in hand, so we'll see if it can work anything. Absolutely no utility. Has got full armor, though, and these players are quite low, so you can almost treat that UMP like a rifle at this stage in terms of damage, but we'll see as the bomb will go down to that B bomb site.
Yeah.
At this stage, it's just you just got to get the trades, man. Just got to get the trades, and you should do it.
Easier said than done sometimes, but Phelps has got plenty of time to work with here. He's got plenty of places to go as well. Besides that, construction is where he wants to hold, which is fair enough, but it does make life a bit difficult covering off the bomb. Admittedly, it is a very open bomb plant here, and the smoke is going to go down. That might be the undoing here for Phelps, as he has to find the player covering the bomb and get the bomb defuse up, which he does, but just a little bit too late.
Sometimes the psychology behind it, right? It's like, I mean, Wardell is forward, he's got the smoke, he gets the play, but sending your like super low, like 20-something HP player to do that in smoke diffuse just makes me so terrified sometimes. They do get away with it though, by a margin of seconds, but yeah, wow, it ekes me. Really does eke me.
At the very least there, SK do make that one very, very expensive. So they know right now that Ghost, even though they're going to have a buy through, is going to be really scraping the bottom of the barrel in terms of the money. And so they've decided to force into this round themselves. Triple AK, double Deagle. We've seen the Deagle being relatively impactful for SK throughout today's match. But definitely looking at those AK players to step up here.
Indeed, as Taco has actually got quite a bit of utility there, so doesn't want to give his life away too cheaply, but just seeing if he can spot anything towards Pit and Graveyard, who won't be giving away too much, because as Wardell opens up onto Phelps, but yeah, not giving anything away there. Rick's just holding onto that balcony, just waiting for someone to kind of hop out, so he can just play a bit more of a passive position there. Taco finding Wardell with the Deagle, so nice shot for him there to even up the numbers. And a bit of a shame there, really. So he has spotted one there. Dallas needs to find this frag, but it won't get too much done. And Connor, they knew exactly where he was, peeked out, timing just not really working for him. So it looks like the Deagle's in tow, and this team, Rick's just trying to find something. He had two players in front of him standing in fire, and now they have spotted Seb as well. So this is quickly deteriorated right in front of Ghost Gaming's eyes. Taco doing some great work, manages to retrieve an orb for his troubles. And now, it'll be interesting to see if the hunt is on. It does look like Fallen will make his way up towards Nana. Come on. It does find one, but it might be a bit difficult to try to hold on to that gun there. They know exactly where he is.
Yeah, I don't know if he's going to be able to keep a hold of this gun. Admittedly, SK's money is not that ideal right now, so they don't want to spend too much on this hunt, but definitely worthwhile getting the gun out of the hands of Seb, and Fer manages to do that without losing his. So ideal result really there for SK, taking 3 guns through here. Ghost is not really going to be able to afford a buy, but it looks like they're going to invest into it anyway. Pistol and arm up, probably a double eco out for them, to be honest. The first being, I suppose, a bit of a force buy, pistol and armor buy. And this is where SK can really start to run away with this map. And already at 9 and 11, double eco coming up here most likely for Ghost Gaming. We see ourselves at 13 and 8. And so probably a little bit too much to come back from there for Ghost. But admittedly, they've been doing the right things here on Inferno, just not consistently enough.
Yeah, I mean, you can just put that previous round just down to the raw aim power of these SK players. Even when you know, they were trying to hold onto that AK in Nana, that last player just I mean, he just...
And I barely felt like we even got to watch that pistol and armor because it just didn't exist.
Yeah.
It was like the round started and then it was over.
The momentum here, it will be very difficult to stay above considering that it's going to be almost an identical round in terms of the investment for Ghost. Very little to nothing. P250 on Ricks and a single flash, so we'll see if what they come up with, but it looks like it's just going to be a little bit of default as well. So they don't really even giving themselves a chance here. Nothing dynamic being done, just default setup with a couple of the stock standard pistols in hand. Wardell just trying to peek something, finding anything, but coming up against an armored AK opponent, Fallen does manage to find Connor as well. So should be that 13th round for SK, and when they get momentum like this, it's going to be very hard to shut them down. There's Ricks with all of his P250 shots. Taco just crouching there, being a real nuisance. And Dallas landing too much either. So
need to hit them, but even if he did, what does it matter? Wouldn't have gone the way of Ghost.
Well, that's the thing, right? I think even if you do 300 and you forego a nade in the next round, I was saying this to someone yesterday, I forget who it was. It's, do you know that Henry Ford quote, mate?
Which one?
Whether you think you can or you can't, you're right. And I feel like when you utilize, when you're just holding on to USPs or Glocks going into an eco round, you're not actually banking on anything. And I think that's exactly what we just saw then. They're just like, this is a throwaway round, nothing's going to happen.
Okay.
You get a couple of P250s, change the psychology. The P250 is just a psychological, like, purchase, really.
You reckon?
And it just, I feel like it changes things. Maybe not on the more experienced teams, but I find on, like, you know.
You feel like you got something to work with at least.
Yeah.
Which you do, to be fair.
Absolutely.
So, I don't know.
No, that's just me.
I personally...
That's me feeling.
I personally would probably forego a HE nade for a P250. Just for that chance of making something happen. Maybe you get a gun. Maybe you get a pretty crucial pick and the round slips away because of that. I don't think a single HE nade is necessarily going to have the potential to have that kind of an impact. Obviously, it can be quite useful, but if it's the difference between, say, an incendiary or a Molotov and a P250, then to me, then that's a different equation. Because that's more impactful, or a smoke, I suppose, as well. Anyway, Wardell takes down Taco as SK do try to find their way into the A bomb site. A big wall of smokes for them in the pit, and they're going to now try and clear that one out. Colt Zero just spots Wardell. They still don't know where Rix is, but they have a sneaking suspicion that there's someone in the pit, and that is going to be proven correctly, as Fer somehow does not get that trade. I'm a bit perplexed. But anyway, Fallen's left alive on his own.
Dallas there, though, just really covering his teammate there, not giving too much away, but then Rix staying alive and managing to pincer that player in the pit area. So now it's just down to Fallen. Has the bomb in hand, has the AWP, see if he can find anything, but 4-on-1. So quite back and forth, really. SK really haven't been able to shoot together too many rounds. Nice shot onto Connor 93 there. That's small flick down, but he's not going to expect Dallas to be here, and we'll get set upon by Rix, actually. So 9-13. Economy, you know, not too bad, but this is a very important round here for Ghost. They will probably lose the map if they lose this round. Oh, the shot here.
Ooh.
Sees him, gets
Doesn't even look like it hits. But that's the old Go TV. Whatever.
That's the old CSGO in general.
CSGO in general, I suppose it's not really. Yeah. I don't think we're actually in Go TV, are we? I don't know. Who knows? I don't care. Who cares? Just watching the game. What are we doing? What am I even talking about? It's too early in the morning, Danny. I want to go back to bed.
No, it's not, mate. It's 8 PM. I don't know what the acronym for the America time is.
EST? CST?
CST? Central?
Centrals?
But they have
Summer
a whole
time?
bunch.
Standard time?
I
I don't
a whole
know.
bunch as well, don't
America. America
they?
time.
America time. Doesn't
Hot
matter
dogs.
because that's the only time that matters. As the bomb is dropped towards T-Steps, SK just making their way up towards Nana. We do see Connor 93 has been tagged down, so very passive onto that site there, along with his teammate Seb, who actually manages to, he's got a molly in hand with a flash as well, so we'll see if he utilizes that, just holding towards the back of that bomb site as we do see the rotation coming from Connor, just getting himself in a different position, see if we can get a little bit of a peek happening. He should go down very quickly though, but it looks like the SK players will be retreating after making a little bit of noise. Still just over 40 seconds left on that clock. Not a single frag yet on the server.
Bit of damage, but apart from that, yeah. Still a couple of smokes available here for SK, which is nice. They're going to be able to put one down into CT. Presumably the other one's going to go towards coffins or coils. Whichever you want to make, whichever one you want to call it. The rotation, though, already has come across here from Ghost, and the smoke does come down a bit early, I thought, there from SK, as the smoke was not yet bloomed. Does allow Ghost a few pretty crucial frags, actually, on the B bomb side, and 10 seconds left to get that plant. Fallen needs to find a few kills and the plant. He's going to get the plant. Let's see what he can do here in the gun department. Not a lot. Dallas will take him down. Ghost secure another round.
Yeah, so the money will be decent there for the guys on SK, but it was so important to keep these three players up, in which they do an opportunity to get that double up, but they look like it will just be Wardell being that lone ranger, and the buy coming out once again from SK thanks to that bomb plant, utilities, everything in tow. Very happy days for them, but 10 and 13. I mean, I gotta say, I probably didn't expect this scoreline at the beginning of the day.
No.
Yeah, very valiant effort there from Ghost Gaming.
Well, it may not be just a valiant effort at this point. It may yet still
I
turn into something a bit more than that.
Definitely counting my chickens before they hatch as well. Just gets flashed off there. A little bit nervy. Just really wants to take that peek. We'll see if he can get anything done. He hasn't got a counter AWPer there. It's just AK's coming through the board. But we have seen what these players can do, and it had to give out his life cheaply. He has the same sentiment, so retreats back towards Diggity, just watching that boiler position here. Gonna pot a couple of shots through, doesn't find too much. So all 5 players still up, but a bit of utility expended from the guys on SK, but nothing committed as of yet.
No. They are having some trouble getting into these bomb sites. You know, it's not been an easy T side here for SK, despite the fact that they did with the pistol. You know, they haven't really been able to do a lot. Like, they've got 4 rounds, which is okay, cool. But they've also allowed 4 rounds over to Ghost. So it's been 1 for 1, kind of, at this point. As SK, again, are going to try and make their way into the A-bomb site. Ghost Gaming definitely needs to do a little bit better than 1 for 1 if they want to end up winning this map, as they would end up at 16-13 going by that logic. Again, though, Briggs does a pretty good job from the pit. It just seems like SK are having a really difficult time of getting rid of him, and they put down the smokes, and he just sort of hides in them, and they're not able to get rid of him. So, I don't know, maybe a change in strategy is on the cards here, potentially, for SK. As, again, the A push has not worked out.
Yeah, so some great defense coming out from Ghost there, eventually coming down to those last 2 players in Fallen and Coldzera, I believe it was, in those trades, just 1 for 1, keeping 3 up, which is going to do good things for their economy as they do manage to retrieve that AK as well. So,
Pistol
Coldzera
comes out.
completely kitted,
Yeah, Coldzera.
because he was probably a rich man, but
The-
CZ's and Tech9 at Fort Taco.
It's the hero strat, Danny.
Oh,
Just
well, I
take
mean,
that 1 AK. If that
Same.
player drops,
literally
someone
probably
else becomes the hero.
Literally
Steps up.
the best player.
It's just like
I
Star
think,
Wars.
We'll come back to that. Definitely want to come back to that. But the best player in the world, I think, to do the hero play right now.
Yeah, sure.
Which he needs to. I mean, not the most important of games, but would be nice to see. And you were saying Star Wars hero. What are you referencing? There's like 7 bajillion movies and.
That's what I'm saying. You know, one stops, one ends, one drops, a hero dies, another one comes. You know, like Anakin falls to the dark side. Spoiler alert. And and then Luke becomes the savior of the galaxy once more. So it's just like that, you know.
So
Anakin was Coldzera in that scenario, and then he died, and then Luke comes up and picks up that AK and saves everybody.
So Coldzera is going to turn around and kill everyone on his own team.
No, Danny, you're reading too much into this.
And also, I'd want to know, anyone out there
What?
got angry that you ruined that Anakin becomes Darth Vader, the spoiler alert? Please let us know.
Please let me know, yeah.
Just-
Message me on Twitter, @ElfishGuy, if I ruined your Star Wars.
just one guy sitting there
Like-
like, oh man, I was going
Man,
to
I
watch
was
that
waiting to
next
watch
week."
that. Yeah, like,
Anyway, 12 and 13, we have a
and
game
if I
on our
did,
hands.
what have you been doing with your life? That's
It's
the real
very true.
question.
Nonetheless. We see a 5-on-5 fur tag down. Galil on Coldzera, so he goes for the hero play. Now he's just going to have to go for the bystander play, most likely, with that Galil, unless he's going to retrieve another gun. Nothing committed, really. And it looks like SK scratching their heads a little bit at the moment.
Yep. SK, or at least Coldzera, was a Jedi, and now he's a battle droid.
Did you watch Star Wars this morning or something?
Actually, now he's a gun. Nah, I'm a bit Star Wars obsessed right now. Looking forward to that new movie. Anyway, SK, like you
I
say.
didn't realize you were a Star Wars nut.
What?
Are you?
Yeah.
Clearly.
Hell yeah.
Right. Do you know I know Daisy Ridley?
No, you don't.
I do. Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Nah, I don't believe you.
Like, not well, but I do know.
Hey, okay.
Yeah.
Trolling me.
But you don't like the white women.
Whoa.
Anyway, Seb here needs to get a bit of work done. Very common spot now. They should check this. He might be able to get a frag, though, if they get a little bit lazy about it. Very cautious. The smoke does rain out. There you have the check comes out from Phelps with that smoke. Maybe getting a little bit in his own way there. Seb managed to find that opening frag
Look at
there.
this position from Fur.
Yeah.
The timing's not going to be great for him, though. If Dallas comes around at the right time, which he doesn't, I think Fur can still make this one work. Fallen holding a pretty good angle into Dallas and pushes it. Actually, Connor 93 it was. He pushes it. He finds the second on the step as well. So good work here from Fallen. Finally, the individuals stepping up now for SK. This is an incredibly difficult retake for Ghost. So they have to now push into 3 players on that B-bomb site. Now, Ghost could, I guess, in theory, let this one go, but they should have enough money to buy next round anyway. Seems like they're going to give this one up.
Yeah, I mean, we did see Fern. You did speak about that timing that could have gone either way, but he did have a little bit of a ring around the rosy there and managed to find a frag himself and eventually did get traded out. So that's some good play coming from me because he could have just given away his life very easily towards that CT position. But nonetheless, does some good work to get a 1-for-1 at the very least. And that 14th round, that all-important 14th round. The money, like you said, it was interesting for the guys on Ghost to hold on. But really, I think that would be the prudent way to play this out as they do have a full buy coming through. SK Gaming, one more to get to that all-important match point here.
Yeah, and is that going to be the straw that breaks the camel's back, Danny? Is that the gun that destroys the droid army?
What's a gun?
Is that the Jar Jar
What's a gun?
to the Separatists?
What's a gun? Tell me what a gun.
You don't know what a gun is?
After this round, 12-14. This is a really important round here because the economy will be broken of Ghost Gaming heading to that match point. So they need to win it if they want to have any chance.
I'm actually gun-gutted right now, Danny.
All right, go.
It's
like
Jar
12
Jar
seconds.
Binks. You know Jar Jar Binks?
Oh, it's
He's a gun.
his breed? Not a
Yeah,
breed.
that's his race.
His race.
His race.
His
Guns.
His what would you call it?
Boss
The race
Nass,
is,
dude.
Oh yeah, that's the fat guy.
Yes.
Yeah, cool. Okay, so Seb
He's
here.
gun.
Oh man, making a lot of noise. Phelps just being very patient, just waiting to find some kind of opening. If he turns that corner, might find two. Very Wardell. That is ridiculous, mate.
Yeah, and Phelps is not going to get the better of Seb there either. And so already, again, SK is at a bit of a deficit here, splitting up, playing one by one and trying to find some picks across the map. Doesn't really work out too well for them. At least Taco has managed to trade one back, and now Cold Zera gets another, so we're back to 3 versus 3. And the A-bomb side is more or less opened up now for SK. Obviously, Wardell is still sitting in the cutout there in the smoke, but he can't do anything to deny the bomb plant. And now suddenly, the favor of the round perhaps shifts back to SK.
Yeah, this is going to have to be an all-in approach or save right now because if they drop any more of these guns, it's going to be a very awkward round, especially facing match point. It looks like they have committed. They don't play for draw, these boys on Ghost Gaming. They're in. Connor needs to find something. They're very low plays, but Foe will find two heads. Wardell getting taken out straight away as well. And Seb going down to Taco. So very strong hold. One bullet for 3 players. All 3 players down. The money is... Oh, those 3 guns would have made all the difference into this round, but 2 players will still be able to get those rifles, and obviously nothing left to save for 12-15, but this is not the way you want to end a game that you've fought so hard for against one of the best teams in the world. Is it, Elfish Guy?
Nope, certainly is not. And apparently I've spoiled someone's day. Someone just messaged me on Twitter.
And you just... oh. Yeah, that's pretty bad, mate. I mean, you've ruined one of the best sci-fi... movie series, not a trilogy, more like the movie series ever.
Yeah.
You should, you know what we'll do?
What?
Depending on where they're based, you will send them the whole series.
I don't
Minus
think I'll do that.
1, 2, and 3. I think that's the way to do it, mate.
No, look, 1, 2, and 3, you still gotta have
obviously
it.
they're a fan of yours, so you should sign it and send it to them.
No.
Okay, guy, we'll send you, or girl, we'll send you Star Wars. That's an Elfish Guy promise.
Danny promises to send you Star Wars on my behalf.
Anyway, we're coming in. Looks like 12 rounds. This is such a heartbreaking thing about CSGO, right? You
Yeah.
get 12. It is really
It's a fair shake
a
at the
feat.
sauce bottle. It is.
A fair shake of the sauce bottle.
Yeah. Are you on
Did you make that up?
No!
I've never heard it.
Danny,
I
you're
like
an
it. No,
Australian.
I like it. Whoa, that's racist, mate.
Bro. I mean,
What?
just, come on.
Wardell just potting through a couple of shots through the smoke there with that UMP. Unfortunately, doesn't have a rifle in hand. So even if he does get a couple of bullets through, he's not going to do too much damage. It looks like it will be a commit to this bomb site. But look at that flank coming through. Connor finding one. They need to get that second, but Phelps will take down the second. So it looks like any chance of that flank doing any more damage has been shut down. But Wardell, the player that has been the stalwart of this Ghost Gaming team, managed to find 2 and gets...
Oh.
Ooh, Dallas, he finds Cold Zero as well. So now it's just down to Tucker. They know exactly where he is as well. And he finds the shot!
We're still alive, Danny. Ghost Gaming's still alive.
Still alive. And
Is it the triple OT dream again?
Actually, SK did go to OT against Splice on this map, didn't they?
Ghost went
No.
to triple
Yes,
OT
yes, I
against
do remember
CLG on this map. They lost, but it was still a triple OT. So,
Yeah.
well, what have we got here? Just an eco out from SK. They want to get a full buy into round number 30. Ghost Gaming's buy is also a little bit lacking. Now, it looks pretty good. You know, they got a lot of M4s. They got an AK. They've got 2 AKs. They've got a lot of utility there as well, but no warp. So it still needs to build up a little bit here for Ghost.
Absolutely devastating way to lose if SK can snipe this round from the grasp of Ghost, but it doesn't look like it will be the way. Like you said, firepower a little bit underwhelming, but compared to these pistols, all good. But Taco, once again, will open up onto Seb. He is one of the rifled players, so it's up to Connor here to do some damage. We'll rain the nade out. Doesn't do too much. And now the Molly will come out. He's just going to push through that, and he does manage to get himself out. So the Molly's not going to do anything at this stage. And Phelps has managed to recover that M4. Does take him down, so this could be all but over with the Deagles in hand. Phelps gets naded down to 33, but manages to find the second one. So that dropped M4, doing so much damage. Dallas coming through construction. He needs to find a frag or two. It is a 4-on-2 situation. So a little bit of utility and 3 Deagled players for the guys in SK. That bomb is ticking away. They do have a kit on Rix. They need to get something, and they need to get it done now. Dallas is going to make his way through construction. The both players going to come through the same area, but Coldzera will just shut it down straight away and finds a second as well. That is absolute a spit in the face of the guys of Ghost. Just nothing doing there. That's heartbreaking.
That is a little bit. Yeah, that was... Well, there you go. That's all I have to say about that one, Danny. It's just... It was so close for Ghost. I mean, there was some rounds there that they could have won, that they maybe should have won throughout that map. And then, I mean, we get to 16-13. I thought we were going in the distance. You know, I thought there was an OT in there, and that's got to be a bit tough for Ghost. You know, they get so many rounds, but at the end of the day, it just doesn't matter. It's completely irrelevant. You know, you didn't even take them to overtime. It's still a map win for SK. It's still a map loss there for Ghost. And for the position that Ghost is in, they need map wins. They don't need close matches against SK. Even though we can say, yeah, it looked pretty good for them. Doesn't matter. It's no points on the board.
Yeah, it is a bit of a shame there, especially losing it out in that kind of style with those Deagles in hand. That first frag coming down, dropping that M4, kind of, that was all she wrote here. We'll see a couple of the highlights here on the Logitech replay cam. And yeah, I said this at the beginning, and it's not really a wise and intellectual saying, but, you know, Dom Toretto in that first Fast and Furious. Doesn't matter, mate. Doesn't matter if you win by an inch or a mile. Winning is winning.
Yeah. That's exactly
and,
right.
Poor Ghost Gaming, aka Paul Walker here. I'm sure they have that grin on that face, that smug grin. Hey, I almost had you.
I don't know if they do. I think they're probably a bit disappointed after that one because in this matchup, this map was their chance, really. We're going to move on to Cobblestone, and for me, that one should just be really cleaned up by SK, who admittedly today have really not been 100%. You know, they've been making some mistakes, been doing some silly things, some weird pushes and some weird peaks and that kind of thing, but they've been good enough to beat Ghost on what is in theory one of Ghost's better maps and technically their map choice as well. So they should have enough to beat them on Cobblestone, which is their own choice and a map that they are very, very good at. So I do think that, you know, the next map could be a little bit quicker than this one. You know, I'm not expecting it to go to the distance like this one did. I mean, something maybe like 16-6, 16-8 would be where I'd be looking to for that next one. So overall, good news for MSK being able to get that, and the chance for them now to put themselves up in that first place if they do end up winning this one. Now, obviously, Optic's going to have some matches to play again this week as well, but it's always nice for SK if they can take it, even if only for a day.
Yeah. Absolutely, they definitely are flirting with that position, but Coldzera, those last two in that coffin position, staving off the retake, absolutely shutting it down. So, 16 and 13, that's the first map down. Cobblestone, I'd say we would agree that it would be that kind of more favourable towards SK, but, you know, they could slip up. If they fall asleep again and Ghost bring in kind of that form, I mean, this is a very kind of unknown quantity for them, so they will get the side that they want, but is it enough?
Yeah, on a map like Cobblestone, I don't think so. You know, like it's a fairly even split, 50-50, I almost feel like, maybe favouring the Ts, but it shouldn't be enough for Ghost to be able to come away with the first half, you know, and be like, right, we only need to get 4 or 3 rounds here, and we can end up winning this map. If it's like, even if it's like 10-5, I still feel like there's going to be enough for SK in the second half, assuming that they're probably starting on CT side here. It's kind of hard to I guess really which side is going to be which, because each team will come into a map like Cobblestone with a different mindset, whether they want to start off on the CT side or if they want to try and hold off on the CT side. It's